How's that?
How many of us plan to attend church as we go home for break? It's the start of break, and some of us will even arrive home in time to enjoy our home church with our families. But imagine if you were to go home and go to church tomorrow morning in fear of what might happen while you were to attend church. This is the reality in many areas of the world, even some regions of our country. In 2015, we saw the devastation of the Charleston church shooting and watched as the shooter laughed as he admitted to his crime. Though attacks such as these are a reality, there is much more dangerous attack on the church that's happening at a more discreet level. Are our freedoms as a church slowly being taken away in our country? If so, why is the Christian church the primary target? The attack on Christianity in America is the result of a war between man's law and God's law, substitution for truth and relative truth, and an intolerance of outward expression of faith. Joshua 1:18 tells us, "Keep this book of the law always on your lips. Meditate on it day and night, so that you may be careful to do everything written in it. Then you will be prosperous and successful." Sadly, man's law has not only begun to fall away from this commandment, but also almost in direct defiance of God's commandment. Many claim this is necessary to uphold separation of church and state. But as Christians, our allegiance falls to the one true law before man's law. Thomas Jefferson said, "It is error alone which needs the support of government. Truth can stand by itself." The world says, "What is true for you may not be true for me." It has become acceptable for one to find their own convictions about wrong and right. It is put clearly in the 6th chapter of John, "If you love me, you will keep my commandments." This simple statement leaves no question for what is right or wrong. Dr. Todd Christofferson says, "It has become popular to argue that the freedom of religion is really only the right to worship rather than the right to freely exercise your faith in your daily life." There are few in our country today that will say Christianity is under attack. They claim we enjoy the right to go and worship as we please, and they are right. But it is expected that when we leave the church building, we leave our beliefs at the door. Freedom of worship is alive and well, but the freedom to live our day-to-day lives in a Christ-like manner is being threatened for fear of persecution. It is unacceptable to say Merry Christmas for fear of offending someone. It is unacceptable to say God bless for fear of being accused of shoving religion down someone's throat. The question is, has this always been an issue, or is it a recent development? In conclusion, the threat on religious freedom is the result of three things: a war between man's law and God's law, substitution for truth for relative truths, and the intolerance of outward expression of faith. While some may think it is important to reverse this development, it is important to remember how the story will end. The Bible tells us that in the last days people will substitute the truth for lies, and persecution is inevitable. So should the church respond? Should we respond with anger or resistance, or with a steadfast faith in God's plan and persistence in following His commandments? I'll leave you with the words of Pope Francis. It is the duty of everyone to defend religious freedom and promote it for all people.